Okay.
Right. So, welcome to all the participants for the third talk on overcoming hurdles. And all of you are well aware of our speaker, who's Dr. Azeem Bolar, who was actually started his career as a hotelier, but life took on a different turn for him, and he started losing his vision in around 92 when he was working at the Oberois. Educated abroad, but suddenly his businesses and health took a roller coaster ride, and he's currently paralyzed, blind in both eyes, but is also a certified counselor, psychotherapist, NLP practitioner with several certifications to his credit. He started off as a volunteer counselor and is now a psychotherapist for a well-known MNC in Bangalore. He's also has achieved a total of three masters and an honorary doctorate, a PhD, in neurolinguistic programming, and is helping out people with the problems. So, in spite of his difficulties, in spite of his problems, he's making an effort to try and help people with whom he can. So, over to Dr. Azeem for today's session.
Good morning, everybody. Zim here, and we are around to day three of overcoming hurdles. Um, from what I recollect, we had last stopped when I came back to India after completing my studies in Europe. I finished with my master's in hotel management, and I came back to Bangalore. All was good. I got a job in a restaurant called the Pink Panther as a manager, and I was getting used to the Indian way of working, and it was fun. It was good. Tried with different recipes, and we did a lot of changes, and it was had a good rapport with the owner. So I got a free hand at trying out different things, and it was going well until the Oberoi came into the picture. Now had around three rounds of interviews with different people, and they all liked what I had to offer. And within no time, I was appointed as the lobby manager night, which in effect is the GM in the night. It's a very good, a very prestigious job. And at the age of 22, what more could I ask for? So I think I had reached cloud 8. The cloud 9 is yet to happen. And it was all good. The job went well. And I was on probation. It's 6 months. So I performed the functions of the night manager, the lobby manager in the night. Um, and it was nice meeting with guests, socializing, and the food is good, life is good. I bought a bike, and then somewhere in the line, I realized that I couldn't see it was computerized, so I couldn't see the computer screen. Um, and the doctors had told me it could be cataract until one doctor mentioned that yes, there's something more than cataract. But we never took it very seriously. And he gave me some drops, and I was fine, and some tablets, and I was super fine. Now, the tablets he gave me were 20 milligrams of prednisone or cortisone. So I started gaining weight. And with no time, I went to 40 milligrams. And I was still at the overrace, but I was also refluffing. Vision was dropping. And I still continued, but I had a couple of bike accidents. Um, I could not see the area very clearly, and I was not willing to admit blindness. Accept it. No, I wouldn't. I wanted to get my vision back. I saw a great life in the Overalls. But the end of 6 months, I could barely see the computer screen, and I started making mistakes with recognizing people. Uh, so 6 months down the line, when they were about to make me a permanent employee, and all was done except the fact that I had the loss of vision. So I put on my papers on health grounds, and was about to take life easy until I saw a shop for a toilet very close to the house. There were two shops, very small, but I thought I would take it on rent. But then, just I was about to take it on rent, I met with another bike accident. A meteor hit my right leg, and I had a hairline fracture. But they did not demotivate me from the restaurant. A friend of mine had come down from Delhi, and we talked about the equipment we had. And I I always wanted to start a kebab corner, uh, kebab corner. So that was it. The kebab corner was in the way, two shops, a fast food setup, and all was good. He went back, Sushil went back to Delhi, and I started a restaurant. Had a lot of problems starting the restaurant. Uh, the person close to the deadline, he backed off from delivering the fridge, and the exhaust the person who was to install the exhaust system, he didn't come. So here I was without an exhaust, without a refrigerator, and I had I had around 300 people, well wishers for the opening. I didn't know what to do. Head cooks, I had employed them, but yet to food trials, they were pretty good. But then the rest of the stuff was, we immediately got Sigris because the person who was to get the tandoor set up had not come, and I was almost starting. So I had got the Sigris. I started. It was something that would have really. Um, I don't know how I swam through that. I was not embarrassed. I took it in a stride. I started the restaurant. The beans had melted, but yeah, I didn't give up. Uh, the inauguration went well. The people loved the food. And so I had started the Marush Grill, a restaurant. From Indian kebabs, I ventured into continental dry snacks. That was good. And then by that time, my vision, it was a one-man show. I used to do the purchasing and everything. But then vision took a toll, a great toll. I had a toll on me. I had become around 80 kilos, had started losing hair on my head. Vision was not very safe. I could not ride a bike anymore. So I listened to my parents and I rolled on the shutters. In a year's time, I had to roll down. I didn't give up the shop. I had the ambition of coming back. So I went off to Africa to join my father and mother. And in East Africa, Uganda, it was beautiful. The night dad had bought a car for me, so I was all fine, all cushy, except that I had started to seriously lose vision. Had now reached around 60 milligram of steroids, but the vision was not really coming back. But I had to keep it under control. By then, I found a 5 acre property by the lake, a ramshackle property, grass, grown. There were bushes. It was bushy, around 3 feet in height, and the owner was a African, and he was willing to give me allow me to give it a shot. So I got a couple of guys, got some slashers, and in no time, from a dilapidated 5 acre property, it looked like a shining small restaurant around the beach, in the beach. I removed grass. I put sand. Um, I made a boundary so people could walk within. It was sunny, so it was beautiful. And we set up an agreement, and I for a remuneration. I was doing well. I was doing after parties, trance nights are where you go on up to 4 o'clock in the morning selling drinks, and it was good. I had a lot of comedy shows, stand-up comedies. But all this time, and from driving a car, I realized that now I had to employ a driver because I could not see the road clearly. And then I started falling off the stairs. My office was on the first floor of the building, and it was a small office. And while coming down, I realized I could not see the steps in. So it wasn't really worth it, but I wouldn't give up, and I wouldn't accept the fact that I could not see. I was doing good money, not that I was doing bad. I was doing good. Um, but in no time, I think the vision was not going to come back, and I realized that it was not going to come back. So I gave it up. I gave the resort, the small restaurant by the waters, gave up Kiki Beach back to the owner, saying that I can no longer manage. But I wouldn't let go of my talent, and I thought I'd start a small consultancy for restaurants and hotels. That took off well, but in no time I had to curve that too because I could not see the screen on the computer at all. Um, but still, not giving up. I thought I would come to India, get married, get someone to help me out. But that didn't work out. We had to separate mutually. By then, it was 1998. And in 1998, I was attacked by cerebral malaria, and the first time. So no, the first time it was cerebral malaria, and that would have killed a person. I was in bed. Uh, I somehow thought this is not going to work, but I gave it a shot and tried to pull up myself. But in 16's time, I got an attack of cerebral malaria with meningitis. The meninges had filled the brain, had filled in with water. And that is when the doctors had declared me brain dead because there was nothing that could be done. But from the bed, I slowly started to exercise and get back my senses, but it was difficult. And we came to Bangalore from Africa for a vacation. In Bangalore, one of my cousins, Hisham, he and my friend Arshi were there and thought I would go to the NEB and see what's the National Association for the Blind. Although still I wasn't willing to admit it. Ended with the NAB, and they had a program where we could learn using the computer. So I found it exciting that I can once again use the computer. So I took up the program, and by that time they had also there's a rule that we couldn't travel by private transport. We had to use public transport. So I had no eyes in the left, no vision in the left eye, and the right eye maybe had 16% vision. I started off using two buses. All my long, I had vehicles, cars, I had bikes, a beautiful life. And here is Azeem traveling, standing, sitting in a public transport bus that was crowded. She changed two buses to reach the NAV. And even then, I said, yes, I can do it. I had not once, not once thought of the fact that I was a great hotelier, and now this was my life. No. I had yet to see what life had in store for me. So in 6 months' time, I got my NIT Swift India course certificate, and in 9 months' time, sorry, and I could now use a computer. So I was all doing all good. I forgot on the beach. I was doing well, and then during the internship, I was um, I was I was told to go to I was told to go to council. So no, during that time I started my council in 2000. And when I was doing counseling, part of the internship was an organization, and I attached myself to the NEB as a counselor. NEB stands for the National Association for the Blind. And as a counselor in training and NEB, I had got a certificate of being able to what's it called, manage the computer, and all was going well. It was now 2004, when all of a sudden I got a massive stroke. A massive stroke where um, this was the second time I had injuries to the brain. But this massive stroke stopped the blood supply to the brain. I lost my left side. I became blind in both sides, totally blind. And I lay on bed. I could only hear the doctors come and go. And it was a new world to me because until 2004, September, I had 5% vision. So I could see light. I could even see people, shadows of people. So I thought that was the world. That's it. And from that to a stage where I could see nothing. Um, I don't remember crying. No. I was now we looking at how do I swim out of this condition. First, I lost my sight. Then was steroids. So I was 85 kilos. I stopped that. And now I got a stroke. So I was paralyzed, blind. I came out of the hospital, and the doctor said I would never walk again. The speech therapist who came to the hospital, I remember her clearly saying that I lost my right ear, my left ear hearing, and he would never talk again because the clots are too many in the brain. And the neurosurgeon said that he will never walk. So, having now reached the stage where doctors had told me I will not talk, I will not walk. I was a counselor with nothing. I was hotelier with only certificates. I was at home on a wheelchair. So there was someone to give me a bath, someone to wheel me around in a wheelchair. And it took a few days to realize that this is not good, my life for me. I have to get out of this. I had attended one program at the Banjara on hypnosis. And so I said, well, I can't see, but let me try. And I tried one of these exercises that enabled me to speak a bit. I was bad in speech. I mean, what you hear now is nowhere close to what I used to. And learned to speak a bit, and from a bit to a little more. Uh, During that time when I got the stroke, I had already completed my ICS, as Introduction to Counseling Skills, DSCS, as Diploma in Counseling Skills. I was doing my advanced diploma in family counseling when I got a stroke. So the owner, Dr. Likhwaj, said, Azeem, over the phone, he said, if you can come back, we will change the class from the second floor to the basement, and you can still attend the class. And nothing better could come to me at that point of time. So I went without my left side, on a wheelchair, without sight, to a class, and they still welcomed me with cheers. And I was doing the course, and then all of a sudden, I could no longer. I was so happy, but not realizing that Ali would say, Azim, it's enough. Now I have to move the class and to the second floor of the building. And now, full floor I could not climb. And here he was moving to the class, the second floor. So he said, if you want to come, you come. If you don't want to come, if you can't come, I'm sorry, you can't do the course. I want you to do the course. So I I climbed with half a body, second floor, two floors of concrete steps to do the course. It was a test of willpower, and it was Dr. Ali's way of seeing how strong I could be, I guess. But while I was doing the course, suddenly the hypnosis program called NLP came in, and Richard McHugh was coming to Bangalore with NLP, neuro linguistic. I said, "Well, I got to do that." So I talked to Ali and I said, "Okay, in your case, we'll attend the course and then come back to us." 5 weeks. I was already paralyzed. I called the lady who was in charge, and I asked her. I said, "Madam, I hope it's not on the second floor." She said, "No, it doesn't matter. It's on the second floor of a Christian hospital. Big steps." I ran to there, and just to be told that I have to go to the second floor to attend the seminar, the workshop of 5 weeks. Now it was 2 weeks initially. I had paid for 2 weeks. So I said, "Azim, if you don't do it now, you'll never do it." Without half a body, I climbed the stairs, 2 floors. I had help to take me down and up 3 times a day because I could not stand being isolated for lunch. So I used to come down for lunch. And then in no time, I got my basic NLP practitioner's certificate. And I used the same what he taught us. I used visualization to get into my master's in NLP, Neuro Linguistic Program. While I was doing that, the NLP and health was being offered. Health. So I said, why not? If this can happen, if 4 weeks I can do, the fifth week can be done. Still the same. It was a bad state. I had bloated due to the medication, but I still managed. I managed 5 weeks, 3 times a day. And at the end of 5 weeks, I was a certified NLP practitioner. I was a certified counselor. I was an exfoliator. I went back to Banjara. I completed my advanced diploma in family counseling. And then I was working voluntarily at Banjara. And I used to go daily. And when suddenly one of the managers came to Manchitra Shekalia, she came to me and with a problem which could not be sorted out. So I listened to her as usual. It was an NLP case, and I in no time got rid of her problems. She said, Azeem, what you have done is something which I thought was not possible. So would you like to join us? So I said, why not? And I went to Aditi as a counselor. And I remember Chetan Shinde, the vice president HR, telling Naseem, you have 6 months. No, 3 months, sir. 3 months to prove yourself. In 3 months, he pointed towards the door, saying that you can go. Touch wood, I'm still there. It's been 13 years. Touch wood. And from the position of being a counselor, I became a psychotherapist. But then that is yet to be done. Now, Shrek, just tell me when the half an hour is over, because then we can also ask the questions to the public about the frequency, right? Shrek?
Right, Dr. Z.
Yeah. So, because I will not know when the time is over. So yeah, so now I had got certificates, I was fine. And then I joined Aditi in the year 2008. I joined Aditi in the year 2008 in the month of March, 4th of March 2008. And from nothing, it was everything. It was beautiful. Dad passed away in 2010, and by 2012, I got uh, a certificate. I got the award for national award for achievement with disabilities, and I felt truly honored that I got that award, and I got some small awards here and there. So by that time, I realized I had come a great way as in a huge leap from the hotelier to a counselor and now an NLP practitioner. Not once did had I cried for myself. And
Dr.
believe
Uh,
me, at that point of time,
Sorry to
uh,
interrupt.
yeah.
We have a few questions lined up. So,
Oh, okay. I'll take the questions, and maybe I will continue after the series of questions some other time. Yeah, you continue. Tell me. Hello.
yeah, the first question is why do we have obstacles in life in the first place?
Why do we?
Have obstacles in life. I mean,
Why do we have obstacles in life? I would say obstacles are necessary in life. One is to know what we are made of, and if we know how to overcome challenges. Challenges are there for everybody. Some some fail, others pass. And if there are no obstacles or challenges, you will not know what you are made up of. And having encountered so many obstacles in my life, loss of vision, loss of physical ability, and still I have persevered. It shows my level of perseverance. And not only that, but it gives an opportunity for us to become a role model for others. Because if we can do it, then others can do it, right? So I think it's needed because had I not got the obstacles, I would not be where I am today. I'm a much more positive person, and in the condition I think I assume it's bad, but I have not really collapsed. On the contrary, I've become stronger and stronger. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Next.
some people, like they're faced with a lot of people who have problems in life and they keep complaining about it, and they keep talking
Yes.
again and again about their problems, and that they're faced with so much of issues, and in the end the person who's listening in tends to get fed up and says that he doesn't want to hear the same person just crib over and over again. So in such a situation, what can the friend or the advisor, you know tell this other person who's having a problem as to how to face it and what to do?
You see, telling a person once or twice is fine. But if you go on and on, then you're only telling someone your problem, but you are not doing anything to get rid of it. You're not doing anything to progress. You're not doing anything to go ahead. You cannot stagnate in life. Life is not meant to be just in one place stagnating without hope. Oh no, we need hope. We have to see the future and we have to take steps. Baby steps are taken to make giant steps up. If you don't take the baby steps, if you whine, it's not going to help because the worst thing that can happen to anybody, including me, and luckily it didn't happen to me, is self pity. Oh, I can't do this. No, that should never happen. And if it is happening for some rhyme or reason, something, please stop it. Because people will only share your woes and sorrows at that point of time, but will not do anything for you. They will only pity you, but they will not envy you. And today, if someone pities me, I say, no, I am not worthy of pity. I'm only worthy of envy. Envy is what I want, envy is what I shall get. But with pity is very dangerous. Pity puts us down further and further. And every time someone gives you a sad sob, and you see a sob story and they give you the pathetic, don't worry, it's okay, that doesn't work. People will talk. You have to move. Move forward, is what I say. Yeah, Dr. Ashi.
Ishraq, any questions at your end?
Nothing at my end.
Right. If any of the participants have any more questions to ask, you can private message me or Ishraq, and we'll ask Dr. Azeem. Right, Dr. Azeem can go on right now.
Go on.
Yeah.
See, when we, I remember when I lost my vision, and it took a couple of years when I was riding a bike with maybe 20%, 10%, 5% vision, hardly anything. And I was not willing to accept the disability. Similarly, when I was paralyzed and I can even now no longer walk, I'm not willing to accept this disability, is what I thought. But accepting the disability is primary to grow up. In the year
Yeah,
2014, I got an honorary doctorate, PhD, in the
yeah,
field of neuro-linguistic programming.
Dr. Azeem, to add to what you're saying, we have a participant who says that without obstacles, life would be very boring,
Yeah,
and it's not a choice. I mean, it's in a way it's God's gift, because these obstacles teach you much more about life, and in the end,
indeed, it is God's gift. Indeed, because yeah, tell me, sir.
sorry.
Yeah, tell me. I didn't get the last sentence.
Yeah, she says that without obstacles, life would be boring, and it's
Yeah.
not by choice; it's God's gift.
Yes, I agree with you. It's God's gift. Because today, what I am is way beyond what I would ever have ever be. Today, with three postgraduates and a PhD, and doing a lot for others. From a selfish person, I became a selfless person. A person who was busy earning money, I became a person who thrives on blessings. Today, I don't even think of charging a person because he needs my help. He or she needs my help. And disabilities, they are just there to show how strong we are. Believe me, they are just obstacles. And if we cannot defeat them, what else can we defeat? If we can't come out of our own doldrums, then what right do we have to help others? We don't. First, if we can move ourselves to that point, then yes, we can help others. Helping ourselves is primary to helping others. If we don't help ourselves, we can't help others. And that's what I really realized that yes, I now can help others because I know what pain feels like. I know what being looked down feels like. I know what being unemployed feels like. And today I know that what 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 it feels like to surpass challenges, obstacles, to become what I am today. But if there was anyone I would help, I could help, I would surely help because I would make it easier for them. I've had it the hard way, but I would make it easy. No one was there to guide me, but I took the right steps to reach where I am today. So I think life is beautiful. Life is a mixture of ups and downs. It's a roller coaster ride. Life is a roller coaster ride. And if there is no down, you will never value being up. And if you're always on top of the hill, you'll never know what it feels like to be down. So it has to be ups and downs. What do you say, doctor?
That's very correct. That's absolutely
Yeah.
true. Only like it takes a lot for somebody to be down and not out, but to come out of it, and it takes a lot of effort, and that effort comes in from you yourself as a person. uh, Sometimes what I feel is that if you tend to discuss it with someone, the other person may not understand what exactly you're going through. So the negativity of the other person tends to rub on to you because you're already very negative yourself. But it's always helpful to speak to someone who's unbiased, who doesn't have any harmful intentions for you, a third person who's totally unbiased and is helpful and who understands the situation. So that's where the role of a professional counselor comes in. It's got nothing to do with losing mental sanity, or it doesn't mean that if you speak to a counselor does not mean that you have lost your marbles or something. It's just to help you cope out of a tricky situation, and you get expert advice and a friend who's probably unknown to you till that point of time, whom you can confide in without any confidentiality issues, and who can help you sort out the issue which you're being faced with. So that's where a role of a counselor comes in, someone like a trained counselor like yourself, to help and guide people along.
Yeah. I've had many. Okay, are you done?
Yeah, yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I've had many cases, and a lot of times I've realized that having gone through so many obstacles, there is so much to give to the person in front of me, and I always believe that uh, uh, crying does not help, and especially crying about sorrows, um, lamenting on the past. No, it's not going to help. It's not going to help pitching yourself at all. On the contrary, talk it out. On the contrary, like Dr. Ashi said correctly, talk it out.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have another question, something related to what we're already discussing. Mrs. Goyal from Delhi, she says how to motivate someone who's totally not ready to come out of depression and does not want to go to a professional, as she feels going to a professional would hype up the matter, or it not many people are comfortable going and speaking to a trained professional. So how do you motivate someone who's already in depression and does not want to go and meet a professional?
the person needs to go. The person needs to talk. First,
Okay,
because the person needs.
another situation would
Yeah,
be if the person is not ready to accept that he or she is in depression, first of all. So
don't
first,
worry.
you have to
Don't
get
worry.
you have to get that person to realize that yes, probably he or she is in depression and she needs help. And
Mm.
secondly, then how to motivate the person to get professional help.
Being in depression is one thing. Admitting you're depressed is another. And what's worse is feeling you're depressed when you're not is the worst thing, right? So we should, instead of working on the depression, it is good to work on the person creating a future in his mind, looking forward, creating a picture of positivity. So here, if you start working on the positivity or the depression, without talking about depression, but being positive and making the person say positive statements, affirmations, person will slowly become positive. Then you start making him or her see the future and see what lies ahead of him, and then let him take an account of his resources, maybe get more, we capitalize on these resources, and by that time depression would have no place. Depression will come and go, but if we are motivated and you're there to motivate the person to see forward, to be strong, to be positive, that is more important, is to be positive. And that helps a lot, madam. That helps a lot. So be positive, make him see the future, then look at the resources they have, and go for it. Make a new life.
So in this case, this person is having these issues for 1 year,
Yeah.
and she's also having associated medical issues because of the depression. But
Okay.
she or he is not ready to accept it, is not ready to go to for professional help, is extremely stubborn.
Yeah.
So now what like she doesn't want to go out and meet someone in person,
Yeah.
nor is she ready to accept the fact that she has depression. So can such people contact you or someone on the phone, and is it possible to help them out, or do you
Of
need
course.
to meet
Of
them in
course.
person?
I do work. Yeah. So, sorry.
Do they need to meet you or someone in person, or can it be done on the phone itself?
It can. most certainly be done with the phone. I am working online with the company I work for. I am now working online. I do therapy online. So feel free to contact me if there is something that I can surely pitch in. We can work it out. But it is not good to let the person be the state they are in. The longer they are in that, the more they'll get used to the comfort zone, and then they will not come back. They will not make any attempt to come back. So before the comfort zone sets in, let us get the person out. What do you say, sir?
That's true. And not many people know this because they don't know that, people like you are available and approachable, and it's just a matter of phone call. So, I mean, could you share any experiences of people that you've helped who have been in depression, who have been in problems? Any interesting case that you have, or any?
Yeah, one of the early cases was a young boy, maybe 24, 25 years old, who had taken into smoking and drinking because of friends, and then gone into depression because there were no jobs for him. And the doctors had said he has several psychiatric issues. And this person, I had to go to that person. He didn't come to me. I had to go because his father called me. And I talked to him, and he, it was a while before he said that I'm not blind, so I think I can move, right? I said, of course you can. But I have lost my education, so what do I do? I said, well, start from scratch. Don't worry. Life is just the beginning. Maybe you are destined to do something else. Because not all the time what you studied for is what you do. There are times you have to change courses. There are times you have to sort of let go of the past and think of the future. So, and I set an example. I talked to this person on a very positive note, and he felt that he wanted to do something like taking a call center job. I was a bit scared because he was on psychiatric medication, but he felt that he wanted a change. And then I don't know what happened after that, but he did not contact me. I assume he was better, otherwise they would have contacted. But that is just one case among the many. I can give you more and more examples, but then that would take away the time from others who want to ask questions. Maybe if you want to call me, my number is there. You can contact me on email, on phone. We can talk about things. Maybe you all are suffering. We don't know. And no one accepts a problem. It's very difficult to say I have a problem. No, because denial is the modus operandi, it's mode of operation. Everyone denies. Nobody says, I openly see I'm blind, I can't walk. Because I'm blind and I can't walk. I do not feel ashamed because believe me, there is nothing to be ashamed if you have an obstacle. There is nothing to be ashamed. On the contrary, you may have more to give because you will be seeing the other side too. So you may have more to give. Try it out. Do not sit back. No, it's not right to sit back and accept defeat. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, to what the person is saying, the question whom was asked was that denial is the only problem, and so once you actually get the person to accept the problem that one that the person is facing,
Yeah.
it becomes easier from there.
Try
Uh,
from
she
try with affirmations.
she also
Affirmations will change the mind. Yeah.
she also says that she knows three people who need help right now, and she'll be
Yeah.
probably sharing your number with them. So
Okay.
I've also put your number on the chat box. So if anyone
Okay.
to call you
Good.
in person, can do at any point of time, and sort and help you sort things out. Uh,
Thank you.
there's an old school thought process which doesn't let you accept the fact that something is wrong. So it's like it's considered derogatory, or it's considered weak, or it's considered to very, you know that's something that that something is wrong with you, something is wrong, but no one wants you to let you accept it, or they say that, you know oh, nothing can be wrong and you're all fine and all that stuff. So because these things are not physically apparent, there is no fever or there is no headache, or there is nothing as such. It's just a frame of mind.
Correct.
A person who understands the other person very well can only detect and analyze and probably guide. But then if the other person is not ready to accept it, trying to get them to accept the fact that they do have a problem is the first thing that needs to be done. Then trying to make them positive and telling them that yes, positive outcomes can occur if they get the right help at the right time. And then if these things are not sorted out early, they tend to spiral out of control because nobody understands what's happening. And then it leads to splits and arguments and all that kind of stuff.
If we look into ourselves, everyone has a problem, whether you like it or not. Everyone has a problem. You, me, everybody. Some we admit we have it, some we don't. And those who don't admit it have it tougher to show to the world because that's a facade. They live in a false scenario. They are living a false life, a fake life. But the moment you admit it and accept it, then comes how do you cope up? And if positivity is in the air, you've done wonders. You can do it. Believe me, do not hide when you have a problem. Do not hide when you have an issue. It can be talked to. Like the other lady, Mrs. Gola, talked about an issue. If you talk it out, you will get help. If you do not talk it out, you cannot expect for people to know there is no telepathy in the air. So you will keep on waiting and waiting for help. Without asking, you will not get it. Yeah.
Right. So I think Ishraq has a poll ready for all the participants. We'll have a short poll, and then we can wrap it up. We're almost closing in on 1 hour. So the first question is, how would you rate today's session?
So there's a question which came up on the chat. Is low esteem a symptom of depression?
To me, it's not. Yet it could be. To me, it's not, but yet it could be. Low self-esteem is not uncommon. Uh, and unless we love ourselves, we cannot do anything about it. Low self-esteem is when you don't like yourself, when you think poor about yourself. So the what we need to change is our outlook on ourselves first, right? We need to see the good within us. We need to see that we are capable of a lot more than we are doing now for ourselves. We can do a lot more for the others if we give ourselves a chance. We must first start from ourselves. Give us a chance to go forward. Don't look down at yourself. Look up at yourself, because you and me and everyone is here is destined to do something. It takes a longer time, but never lose hope, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me, if you go positive, if you grow positive, nothing deterred you. If you have an issue with your self-esteem, try to sort it out. Try to change your way of clothing. Try to love yourself. It's very important to love your life. I adore myself. I adore myself. That's probably why I think of life is so positive. So I would say, adore yourself, love yourself, and look positive, look for the future, and do not accept defeat. You will succeed. Yeah. How was that, sir?
So,
Is that okay?
yeah, we also have a poll running, which is there for the attendees. So whoever can answer the questions on the poll or just vote in. So the first question is, how would you rate today's session? The second is, what best did you like about the session? The choices which you can make. How often do you like to have these sessions? And would you invite your family and friends to Dr. Azeem sessions? So the maximum responses that we've had is that yes, they would like to invite family and friends to Dr. Azeem sessions. How often do you like to have these sessions? Every month. We asked every month, every 2 weeks, or every week. So every month. What best did you like about the session? Dr. Azeem's stories or handling of the questions posted. It was both Dr. Azeem's story as well as handling of questions posted. And how would you rate today's session? So we've got 10 on 10 score so far. So we're waiting for the other people to poll in. If there are any more questions, we can take it in the chat box. So we'll just give about 2-3 minutes for everyone to poll in. Right, Dr. Azeem, would you like to just summarize the session today for all of us, and then we can close?
Yeah. So basically, we talked about hurdles. Really, we talked about my life and some of the hurdles I had overcome across. And I think it is the end of the day, it is for us to make the first move. And if we don't make the first move, no one will move anything. They're all waiting for us to make the first. Please do not think of others looking down at you, because it's only sometime until they will look up at you if you make a difference, right? So that's all I had to say. If there's anything else, do contact me. Ishraq, is anything from your side?
Right, the feedback that we're getting um, is that 100% of participants who took part in the poll liked the session, liked your story on the session. And some say that it should be held every month, some say it should be held every 2 weeks, but all are unanimous saying that they would invite family and friends to your sessions in future as well. So thank you very much to all the participants. Thanks, Dr. Azeem.
Yeah,
And
I thank all the participants and
we have
the coordinators. Yeah, that's been. Thank you very much.
we have a feedback from Payal who says thanks, it was great. So thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you all again soon.
Yeah, and in a month's time, take care. Thank you very much.
Bye.